Welcome back. This is NTV Sports Bar Special Edition coming to you from Club Seg, and where we move to the European football scene, and we will start from Spain, where major focus is going to be on the game between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, which ended in a draw, and these two teams still on top of the table, but Real Madrid were winning away to Espanyol. 1-0 was the final score, and in the process closed the gap to 3 points. And Aisha, is this the opportunity for Real Madrid to get as close as they can to the top two after that draw?
Well, eventually, you'd want to imagine this was the best possible result for Real Madrid, the two sides at the top drawing. But of course, for the other sides, I think the game itself turning out into an anticlimax of sorts. I think it was billed as one of the big games. Lionel Messi perhaps returning, Gerard Martino choosing not to start him. I thought that was very interesting on his part. I didn't think he had the balls to do that, but he did not start Lionel Messi, and eventually, when he did come on, not managing to change much in that particular game. Crossing
over the other side, Mark Namanya Javi, a man who the only thing he has in common with Xavi is the shirt. But anyway, Mark, your take on the title chase in Spain?
Yeah, I think it's a measure of how Atletico have grown in strength, that actually Barcelona were delighted with a 0-0. Because previously you'd expect them to come and just roll over them, but even though Barcelona set themselves up, even without Messi and Neymar, it was an admission from Martino that he's obviously looking at them as a very a contender. I mean, they're halfway through La Liga and they're top two with Barcelona. They've actually played them 3 times this season, home and away in the Super Cup and now in the league, and there's been nothing to split both teams. I thought Barcelona were actually lucky. Lucky is something I really front in sport, but they were lucky to win the Super Cup. I thought Atletico were the better team home and away, and Victor Valdez was the best player over the 2 legs for them to win the Super Cup. So I think in a league which is famed for naive defending, we've already spoken about how Messi and Ronaldo can easily score those goals because they're in Spain. There are so many naive defenders. Atletico Madrid have only conceded 11 goals. That's the best defense in Spain. And they shut out Barcelona yesterday.
I think Athletic has always been a team that gives Barcelona a hard time. Before, I think 2 seasons back, when Fernando Torres was there and some other guys, they used to beat up on Barcelona 6-4. So, really, I didn't really expect Barcelona to win yesterday's game. But going by Tata Martino's tactics yesterday, I think everyone thought he would start with Messi, and he surprised many. Starting Messi and Neymar on the bench, which was always going to be a competitive game.
If you watch Barcelona games, there's a lot of rotation. Song gets a look in. Alexis Sanchez is a totally different player this season. You see there are so many areas of the game where they've improved a lot. And I want to back him for that decision on Messi. If Messi has not played for that long, however good a player is, physically is not in the state to start the game and play 60 minutes. You've got to sit him and bring him off a bench. Yes, Messi wants to play in the sun, in the rain, in the mud. He's just a good kid who loves his game. But you cannot play him every other day, because some of the things that he suffered in the past 1 year are exactly a consequence of the things he suffered under Pep Guardiola, where he had to play every other week, and that's why he's been injured 5 times.
But the other guys,
I back him being aggressive.
The other guys were actually doing the job. Alexis Sanchez and even Neymar, in the absence of Messi, were doing the job. So I think,
and it's because, and for me, it's because Tata Martino has prepared them to do the job, which Pep didn't do.
No, usually I have to.
Okay, well, I bring it to Madoi here before Mark wraps it up.
I think we're talking about Tata Martino a lot, and we are neglecting a man whom I believe deserves to be credited for Atletico's rise, from should I say nearly men or no hopers to title contenders. That's Diego Simeone. His legend has kept on growing. He was a cult hero at Atletico, at the Vicente Calderon when he was a player. He's come back as a coach, and he's delivering the goods. I don't know what you guys think when FIFA overlooked him for that short list of putting him on the short list of the coach of the year. I thought it was a glaring omission. I think is one of the new breed of coaches. A guy who reads the game pretty well, and the way he sets up his team is it's really a beauty to behold.
From Spain to Italy, well, it was raining goals. Juventus 4-1 winners over Cagliari, and then Roma also going on to beat Genoa 4-0, as Napoli were 3-0 winners over Verona there. And well, Bran, it's interesting that in Italy about Juventus, the talk is not even whether they are going to win the title, but whether they will get 100 points, which looks like they will, because they officially got to the halfway stage of the league and they are on 52.
Yeah, unless something happens, by the way, the Serie A looks deceptive almost at the moment, because we thought it was going to be too tight. Probably Juventus, Napoli, even Roma, given the way they started, probably had a shout in there. But the way Juventus are looking, because they're only just not playing well and scoring goals, but everyone is chipping in. I mean, you have Arturo Vidal scoring, Marquinhos probably coming in, and you have Fernando Llorente. Carlos Tevez looks better, actually. A better player than he was in Man City for me. Scoring goals and also trying to create one or two. They are really, really looking good. And they have a revelation in Pogba, of course. United must be hitting themselves hard for this, man. I mean, the player they need is playing the other side. He's doing things and doing them the right way. And he's saying that means United enemies. But I think Juventus are just getting it. The only disappointment is with the squad they have and Juventus the name. Forget about the Calciopoli, I think, mess. They should be doing better both at home and in Europe.
Yeah,
and I think
about that. Yes,
I think that's why they're going to stroll in the Serie A, because they're out of the Champions League, which of course was quite a shock. But they have such depth and strength. Tevez obviously is playing very well in Juventus, because Argentines naturally prefer the Serie A to the English game, both in terms of weather, the food, lifestyle, and so forth. When Hernan Crespo was in AC Milan, I think when he came to England, he said the only thing he loved in England was the 90 minutes for Chelsea on the pitch. Everything else was dreadful. The cinema was hopeless, the food, the weather, even the lifestyle, the fashion. He said he only looked forward to the 90 minutes on the pitch at Chelsea, or the 45 or 30 we was getting at Chelsea, because it was always on the fringes. But the thing is, I mean, Tevez, they get goals. You get goals from everywhere. Llorente, they get goals from Tevez, of course. Vidal, Pirlo, Pogba. Then you get the head goal from Bonucci, as you saw in the game against Roma. So they are by some distance the strongest team in the Serie A, and they could even get the 100 points.
Okay, well, that's the Serie A for you. We'll quickly move to the Premiership. Well, a lot of talking points there from the Premiership, including Manchester United finally winning after 3 straight losses, beating Swansea, and then Manchester City beating Newcastle controversially, and then Hull City also losing as Chelsea
United
were
are dominating the show.
And then the 8-goal thriller involving Liverpool there. And well, Asha, United finally winning. I saw Ferdinand before the game rallying on the boys to start their run. Is this the start of the United run?
Well, it's one of the games that Alex Ferguson wasn't in the crowd, so perhaps it's the bad luck charm at this stage, because he wasn't there for this particular one. But I think they did need to win and win big and sort of put a sort of mark. They've really struggled in the past, and I think if you're in that sort of momentum where you're losing games, it's a little bit hard to pick up, especially from a side that has beat you up before. So this was a good start for them. They need to build from this and at least put on a 3 or 4 game run, which is going to be a little bit hard since you have a Chelsea somewhere in there. But hopefully they can pull off a result also.
Why United dominating this show in a negative way? That's one. But
really is winning negative?
No, because they've said is it to become
maybe they've not won,
but they've won finally. But also too, there is so much wrong happening at United that, however psychological probably it could be, that even Ferguson being at the stadium is a problem.
Okay, well, let me involve Monday here, Monday Juruni.
As a coach.
Because as a coach, we're talking about United and David Moyes under a lot of pressure. Have you been in this situation before, and how do you get out of it?
As a player, as a coach, I think the most important thing is to be calm and you know, keep focus and you know, try to do better every time you
keep
go for training.
not working.
I know it's hard psychologically, but you know, you've got to believe and keep working hard.
Okay, well, you have to believe and keep working hard. Innocent, you have a different view to this?
Monday
has United turned the corner?
It's unfortunate Monday is taking us for a ride. No man would like to be where David Moyes is about now. United, unfortunately, have not had things going their way. Lots of decisions have also not come their way, the way Ferguson was getting them his way. The referees have really taken it hard on Manchester United. That's my biggest problem. And then again, the players have not put on they've not wore the game faces. They're not the animals we saw last season, because Ferguson had the same group of players, and he did deliver the Holy Grail, which is the title. It's the United has fallen so short. Yeah, but against Swansea over the weekend, we did see United like a well-oiled machine. The guys were hungry, and the chosen one had a smile on his face. No, what a game! But
maybe Patrick, to show you for me, everything we are saying today and everything probably being said elsewhere shows how poor and bad United is. Because even when you talk decisions, for example, against Spurs, if that decision goes for United, it's only a draw they get, and this is a Spurs team that they were beating for fun, and now you're telling me probably they give a penalty and it's a draw. Actually, there's no 3 points for United. That's how bad it is.
Is it really that bad?
Actually, for me on this show, I'm confirming one thing. The world loves things that are not going well. Because there are so many other better stories. Arsenal have had a brilliant run. They could be top of the league before we get out.
They've not won a championship in 7 years.
Man City have won 12 of their last 13 games. We are discussing United for being 7th.
They are defending champions. Thank you very much.
For me, it confirms one thing: the world loves discussing bad things.
Okay.
Because we are only discussing David Moyes.
Let me hear from a man commonly known as Sabalwanyi. You've been quiet for a bigger part of this show, and you're quick to your take on United, probably.
If the world loves bad things, then there are two good things in the Premiership: Sturridge and Shores. Those are the two best players in the Premier League so far, in my opinion. But on United, I think Moyes is where he's not supposed to be. That's one. Two, I think you have got players who even don't trust him. So they go on the pitch and they don't give their best. But when they feel they need the best, they need to have a result. They have it and they get it. But if they're going to be a run, it won't be, because next weekend Chelsea is going to club by United.
Okay, but yes, Januzaj, as you come in, you think that this was a good result, especially if you have Chelsea coming next?
Perfectly. I mean, after 3 losses, all you needed was a victory going into Chelsea. But if we thought we were starting a run, I'm not quite sure, unless Wayne Rooney is fit in time for the weekend and Van Persie. But as it stands, I mean, you saw when Chelsea came to Old Trafford, of course, Mourinho parked the bus, but I don't expect him to park it at Stamford Bridge. But this is United, and amazing things happen.
But
so
why do you want to
okay, a second before you come in, let's hear from Alfred. Alfred here. Andrew is trying to convince us that amazing things happen. Can the amazing thing happen against Chelsea and United win that game without Van Persie and Rooney?
I think it is very possible, because when you look at the way Manchester United is playing, and even testimony can be got just from what people have discussed here. There are people who are blaming the referees for being biased against Manchester United. But even when you are critically looking at the game, I think there's nothing much that has changed about Manchester United. They're an aggressive side up front. They really, I could just say that maybe it is just bad luck. And surely, let me tell you, I believe Man U has everything it takes,
apart from luck,
to get better. Even Moyes, I read in some articles, he's saying that the future is promising. Okay. He has hope that his team is going to play better, okay? But then there are certain things which I backdoor that we don't really get exposed to. You know, some of these players have grown with Ferguson, okay? They know where Ferguson brought them from. But this is a new manager. No, there's that loyalty. You know, there's that little bit that people have testified, you know. They're not dying a little for the team. Perhaps because they are not certain about their future. You don't know what, you know.
Okay, well, let me, before a second you come in, let's hear from the only lady that side. On the issue of promises, how long can you hold on to promises of things getting better when they are actually not getting better?
That in perspective for, as a lady.
Well, in all aspects of life, how long can you hold on to promises and hope?
How patient were you? How patient can you be?
Well, I believe in holding on and on and on. Yeah, but some people can say you can only go so far. So for as long as it supports money, I'll also hold on.
Yeah, you so it supports United. You definitely know how to hold on.
The rest is really, it's an individual thing. It's up to you to hold on until you feel you can't hold on anymore.
Oh, you hold on until you can't hold on anymore. Anyway, away from United, there was a big talking point in the game between Manchester City and Newcastle. In the 34th minute, Newcastle got what could have been an equalizer, and it was ruled out for offside. And the question was it offside? Aisha, did Gouffran interfere with play, or did he obstruct the goalkeeper hard?
I don't think. I don't think so. I thought it should have stood as a goal eventually. But I don't think it's a big talking point in the sense that there are a lot of these that go around in the Premiership. This shouldn't be a big talking point. Maybe the only part is the fact that Manchester City is a title contender at this stage, and perhaps they will look at it as the referees favoring Manchester City at this stage. But I don't think it should have been
Brian, I think it is, because that was a game-changing moment. Had that goal stood,
I mean, Aisha is lucky he's sitting next to Brian, not Alan Pardue. You'd be battered right now. Because, I mean, Alan, I think I totally agree with Alan Pardue when he told, because at halftime, I think the mics picked him up saying, the linesman got it right. The linesman is right. You are wrong. Yeah. Telling the referee, because what the linesman did is to call offside, because in his view, that's what he saw. The referee was in a better position to see that actually Gouffran is trying to run out. And when you critically, I think, look at the rules, clearly, Joe Hart has no chance to save. And Gouffran is clearly trying to move out of the way. It's a goal for me, and because it's a beauty. I mean, Toyota scores probably 1 in every 3 years. Why don't you give his... The guy's chance is gone.
Okay.
You know, and actually, because once Newcastle equalized, it's 1-0, go into half 1-0. Probably the second half could have been a different story.
Yeah, because even the second goal came a bit late for City. Sekani, your take on this?
Well, I think it's one of those moments that you love about football. Yes, it's a pressure game, but look at the Liverpool game. I think if Raheem Sterling, that penalty, if that penalty wasn't given, I think Stoke had come back into the game. One of those moments. So even the Newcastle goal, I think it would have stood, but I mean, those are the controversial moments that make the game. So
yeah, okay, well,
and it happened. So
anyway, that was that game, City against Newcastle, and City in the process going to the top of the table. We're awaiting the result between Arsenal and Aston Villa, a game that is on. Well, on that note, I think we'll be ending it here. And well, special thanks to everyone that made it to Club Seg for this edition of NTV Sports Bar. Well, thank you very much. And Aisha Nasanga and Brian Tuka joining me, Patrick Kanyomos, as usual, for this one. We want to thank you so much. Till next time, have a lovely night and enjoy the rest of your viewing as we leave you with the legend.